I've taken the liberty of going ahead and typing up an email here just so you don't have to sit there and watch me type. But what I want to do right now is talk to you about proofing and some things that Outlook can help you with as far as making your emails look a little bit more professional by limiting things like spelling errors or grammatical errors. Most of the stuff that Outlook can detect, it'll do it automatically. So that means while you're typing, if you make a mistake, Outlook's going to let you know. And the way that it does it is with these little squiggly marks underneath words. If you see a red squiggly mark, that denotes a spelling error, and a blue squiggly mark denotes a grammatical error. So how do we fix this? Well, there's a couple of ways. If you can look at the text and you realize, okay, I spelled something wrong, I didn't put a space there, you can go in and you can fix the text manually, and notice the squiggly mark disappears. Another way we can do it is if we have a squiggly mark, right-click on it, and then Outlook's going to give us some suggestions. Now, that doesn't always work because what it's doing is looking at what you typed, not in context with the rest of the sentence, just that word. And it's going to try to guess based on some common errors or some letters that do appear in the word. It's going to try to figure out what you are typing. So if there's nothing that's correct there, for example, in this case, I need to put a space there. You're going to have to fix it manually. And the same thing applies to grammatical errors. Over here, I've forgotten my apostrophe. So if I right-click, it suggests that right away that I need to change it to I''ll. So I can go ahead and just select that, and it'll make the change for me. Now, from time to time, Outlook's going to suggest some things to you, or it's going to say, this is a typo. And it's not a typo. Let's go ahead and right-click on PayPal and see what it gives me. It suggests that we capitalize the second P in PayPal, and I imagine that is correct, so we'll go ahead and go with that. But if we look down here, I've used an abbreviation. I've used PIC instead of picture. And if I right-click on this, it does not suggest the correct word. It just thinks that I'm dealing with something that has PIC in it, perchance. It doesn't know that I'm talking about a picture. Well, I don't actually want to change it. I don't want to type out picture. That's why I just, typed the 3 letters. But I don't want that red squiggly mark there while I'm composing the email. Incidentally, that red squiggly mark will not show up when whoever, you're sending the email to, whenever they get it. It won't show up on theirs, don't worry. But if I don't want it to appear while I'm composing this, I've got 2 choices. I can either do ignore, which will just cause Outlook to ignore this particular instance of this word, or I can go ahead and add it to the dictionary. Now, if I ignore it, then the next time it'll disappear for now as far as the squiggly mark. The next time that I compose a letter, though, if I use that same abbreviation, it's going to flag it again. However, if I use add to dictionary, then the red squiggly mark goes away, and the next time I create a new email, PIC is actually in the dictionary now. So if I type PIC, it's not going to perceive that as an error. Outlook's also got some ways that it can kind of help you with your typing before it gets to the point that there's a squiggly mark. The way it does that is with a feature called autocorrect, and there's a lot of words that people just type frequently incorrectly. Maybe it's because of the way the keys are laid out on the keyboard, or people just tend to spell the word wrong, and it happens consistently. With autocorrect, if you start to type something and you do one of those common errors, then Outlook's going to fix it for you automatically. For example, the word the, T-H-E. A lot of people, if they're typing real fast, type H-T-E. As soon as you hit the space bar, autocorrect is going to go in and fix that for you. So sometimes when you're typing, you will hit the space bar and the word's going to get fixed. I just want you to be aware of that feature and that it's happening, because when that was first introduced, I'll tell you a little story. When that was first introduced, I would find myself going along and I could tell that I typed something wrong, and I would hit the backspace key and go back and fix it. And I would do that. I had gotten into a habit of doing that so much that it just happened automatically. I would type it, I would know that I typed it wrong, and I'd start to hit the backspace key. Well, I quickly realized after this feature was introduced that Outlook had already fixed it. The same thing happens in Microsoft Word. You're typing along, and it just fixes common errors. So I just want you to know that it is there, and it'll help alleviate a lot of the more common issues. Some of the other great tools that we have in the proofing pane here, we'll click the drop down. We've got a word count, and this will tell you how many pages in your email, how many words in the email, characters, how many paragraphs, how many lines. Lots of really helpful information there. And the spelling and grammar checker, honestly, I have not seen, the only time that you need to use this is if you have the automatic spelling and grammar checker turned off. It's going to be turned on by default. I suggest that you just leave it on, because if you turn it off, then the little red squiggly marks and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't show up while you're typing. You have to get done typing, and then you want to proof it, and then you have to go in here and run the spelling and grammar checker manually. Usually, it doesn't tax a lot of resources, so I suggest that you just leave it on. Thesaurus is pretty nice. You can click on this, and if you've got a word selected over here, it'll give you, synonyms, antonyms, a little bit of information on it, whether it's a noun or a verb, that kind of stuff. So if you wanted to find another word to use instead of the word thought, you could maybe use idea. So Thesaurus, really helpful, built into Outlook. Up next, we're going to move along. I'm going to go ahead and close this and cancel it because I don't actually need to send it. But we're going to move along to some more advanced email topics, things like creating themes and changing the appearance of your emails. We're also going to deal with some tracking and delivery options.